This is Geography for Grade 10, produced by Tigray Education Bureau, transmitted by Dimtsi Weyane Tigray National and FM radio satellites and social media, and also FM Maqala 104.4.
Hello students, this is Geography lesson for grade 10. Today's lesson is focused on an ecosystem. This ecosystem includes definition of an ecosystem, factors affecting distribution of ecosystem, diversity of fauna, flora, and soils of different biomes. Remember student, this lesson is the last topic of Unit 2. Student, at the end of this lesson, you will be able to define ecosystem, list down factors affecting the distribution of ecosystem, show different biomes on world map, relate factors in the diversity of fauna and flora in the ecosystem. Students, do you remember the discussion about ecosystem in grade 9? What is an ecosystem? An ecosystem is all the living and non-living things in an area interacting with each other and their physical environment. Ecosystem is a term used in ecology. Ecology is a branch of biology which deals with the relationship of organisms to one another and to the physical environment. An ecosystem varies in size. Some are small, like an organism in a drop of water, and some are larger, like the desert of Africa and the rainforest of Brazil. Students, you may be familiar with biotic and abiotic factors. What is biotic factors and what abiotic factors? Okay, students, biotic factors are living components, that is, plants, animals, and other organisms, and abiotic factors are non-living components in an ecosystem. For example, air, temperature, soil, water, and dissolved minerals. All living things, or biotic, need certain abiotic factors in order to survive. Other point is factors that affect the distribution of ecosystem. Student, what are the factors that affect the distribution of ecosystem? Okay, student, have you dealt it? They are precipitation and temperature, elevation or altitude. Precipitation and temperature. They are non-biological factors having major impact on the kind of ecosystem. They are major factors that determine the vegetation on ecosystem, the total amount of rainfall per year, the form of precipitation, which is rain, hail, or snow, and the seasonal distribution of rainfall have impact on ecosystem. Temperature patterns are also important. They vary from region to region. For instance, tropical areas have warm, relatively unchanging temperature throughout the year, whereas the poles have long winter with extremely cold temperature and relatively short cold summers. Students, look at your book, page 106, at figure 2.30. Temperature and rainfall influence the kind of vegetation that occurs in an area. Areas with low temperature and rainfall produce tundra. Areas with high moisture and freezing temperature during part of the year produce deciduous or coniferous forest. Dry areas produce desert. Seasonal rainfall supports grassland or savanna. Areas with high rainfall and temperature supports tropical rainforest. Okay, students, I will proceed to the second, the effect of elevation on climate and vegetation. As height above sea level increases, temperature decreases. As one travels from the sea level to the top of mountain, it is possible to pass through a series of ecosystems, like the ecosystem from the equator to the North Pole. The third one is diversity of fauna, flora, and soil of ecosystem. Dear students, have you ever heard the word fauna or flora? That is good, students. Fauna means all animals living in an area. Flora means plants found in an ecosystem. The types and distribution of fauna, flora, and soil of ecosystem is highly determined by climate. The Earth is divided into 6 major kinds of large ecosystem called biomes. These biomes are desert, tundra, grassland, deciduous, forest, taiga, coniferous forest, and tropical rainforest. Dear students, let's listen the characteristics of each biomes, and please read carefully in your book from page 109 up to 114. The first biomass is desert. What is desert? What characterizes the desert? It is almost a barren land. Lack of water is primary factor that determines an area will be a desert. Deserts are characterized by a short rainy season or very low and unreliable rainfall, not more than 250 mm per year, and hot throughout the year. Its temperature ranges from 25 degrees centigrade, 40 degrees centigrade, or above during the daytime, and they can fall even below 0 degrees centigrade during the night time due to absence of cloud. They are also likely to be windy. Plants and animals are many species, but they typically have low numbers of individuals. However, those species that are present are especially adapted to survive in a dry, often hot or cold environment. For example, plants in desert have long roots, few or no leaves, hard bark, oily leaf surface, and very small leaves that allow them to conserve water, such as cactus have the ability to store water in their spongy bodies or their roots for use during drier periods. Other plants are only bursting into life when rainfall, flowering, and producing seed, which may then lie dormant for years until the next rainfall. The rose of Jericho, a plant of the Middle East, is a good example of this type. Animals such as gazelle, hare, fox, snakes, lizard are commonly available in the desert region. All of the animals that live in desert are able to survive with a minimal amount of water. Soils in the desert simply consisting of drifted sands, pavements of bedrocks, gravel, or boulders. The second biomass is tundra. Dear students, why is tundra called a treeless region? Okay, the harsh climate of the high altitudes around the poles prevent the growth of most plants. Indeed, the very word tundra means a treeless plain. It is permanently frozen, permafrost. Plants are lichens and mosses, which are known as building blocks of the tundra ecosystem. A range of grasses and sages with dwarf and creeping plants are found. The tundra vegetation was grazed by large migratory herds of giraffe and reindeer. Other grazing animals of the tundra include the musk ox. Predators include polar bears and the Arctic fox, which is largely dependent on the huge number of ground nesting birds that migrate to the tundra to breed during the short summer. The subsoil remains permanently frozen and the surface layer is waterlogged. The third biomass or ecosystem is grassland. Temperate grasslands are known as prairies or steppes. Typically, savannas are tropical grasslands. Grasslands generally receive between 250 to 750 millimeters of rainfall per year. Grasses make up 60 to 90% of the vegetation. Many other kinds of flowering plants are found with grasses. In grasslands of African plain, huge herbivore animals such as elephant, zebras, wild beasts, gazelles, and antelope, and carnivores such as lion, cheetah, leopard, jackals, hyena, and vulture are found. The soil of tropical grassland are strongly influenced by the lengthy drought that alternate with wet seasons. The fourth biomass is deciduous forests. Dear students, what type of trees and animals are found in this biome? Why do trees shed their leaves during winter in a deciduous forest? This is a forest biome with many trees that lose their leaves each year during winter. It is a place where broad-leaved trees grow. The leaves fall to the ground, which is what deciduous mean, and decay. The dead leaves help make the soil rich and fertile. Trees shed leaves to conserve water. Deciduous forests generally receive 750 to 1000 mm rainfall per year. In North America and Europe, common tree species are maples, birch, beech, elm, oak, and other hardwoods. These forests are home to a great variety of insects like beetle, moths, larvae, wasps, and ants. A few of birds, including woodpecker, turkey, geese, and some finches, are year-round residents. Several kinds of large and small animals inhabit these areas. Mice, squirrels, deer, moles, and opossums are common examples. The fifth one is taiga or coniferous forests. The coniferous forests are found only in the northern hemisphere, such as North America, North Norway, Sweden, and Finland. Students, what type of plants and animals are found in this ecosystem? The taiga's climate is one of short, cool summer and longer winter with abundant snowfall. Precipitation ranges between 250 to 1000 mm per year. Conifers such as spruce, firs, and larches are the most common trees in these areas. These trees are specially adapted to winter conditions. The needle-shaped leaves are adapted to prevent water loss. Animals of this ecosystem are birds, insects, and mammals. Most birds are migratory and feed on the abundant summer insect population. Typical mammals are deer, caribou, moose, wolves, weasels, mice, snowshoe hares, and squirrel. The needles and litter from the coniferous trees are slow decay. When they do so, they form an acidic humus soil. This severely restricted the variety of plant species able to grow here. The sixth biomass is tropical rainforest. Dear students, what are the major areas of the equatorial rainforest region? Do you remember from previous lesson? Okay, thank you. They are the Amazon Basin, the Congo Basin, southern Malaysia, and some Indonesian islands. The tropical forests are located near the equator. The temperature is normally warm and relatively constant. Its mean annual temperature is about 27 degrees centigrade. Its annual range is less than 3 degrees centigrade. Most areas receive in excess of 2,000 millimeters of rain per year. In tropical rainforest, most plants grow rapidly. However, soils are usually poor in nutrients because of high rainfall. The region has dense, tall, broad-leaved, and evergreen trees. They have a greater diversity of species than any other biome. There are as many as about 3,000 species within a few square kilometers. Dear students, to be summarized the lesson, an ecosystem is all living things, non-living things in an area interacting with each other. Precipitation and temperature are major factors that determine the vegetation in an ecosystem. Among many factors that shape the type of fauna, flora, and soil type of ecosystem, climate plays a decisive role in their distribution and activities. Have you got the idea? Dear students, do all matching and multiple choice items of review exercise for Unit 2 on page 118 to 121 in your exercise book as a homework to the next program. Thanks for your attention. Dear students, goodbye.